Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So in this video we're just going to go through the Strength SBR. The Extreme Strength SBR. I'm going to kind of redo this team, basically take a whole bunch of free-to-play options, but this team's going to be not entirely similar to the Super Strength one, but it will be pretty heavily carried by a couple units. So one of the important strategies, at least in this term kind of build, is to have at least one Wicked Bloodlines unit with big bad bosses and most malevolent clan in space, because this is going to help you get the key and the stats you need for the Freezer to kind of dominate. My second strategy really is to kind of have the Android 18 with the Android 17. This EZA Android 17 is pretty good. He does a whole bunch of extra stuff when he is in the same rotation as an Android 18. So you're really going to want to link them together. The Android 18 is a free-to-play unit that comes from the gem store. One of the first decent gem store units I would say you can buy. She's a super reliable unit. She does provide a buff to Android units and also to just all units in general, but she provides a full buff to Android 18, which is pretty good. And she attack lows. Her stats aren't greatest, but overall she's useful. I've used her in quite a few SBRs, so she has her place. Then we've got the Strength Freezer. He's pretty good after he takes a hit, but other than that, he's not the greatest. He can do some serious damage though after taking a hit. So what we're going to do is we're going to link him up with the Freezer, and him and the Freezer are going to go to town and basically do all the hard graft. So this Freezer is going to act as our lead as well. Extreme types 90% and 4 keys, so he's suitable for this. So we don't have like the greatest leads in terms of this whole attempt that we're doing here. We only have a 120% strength lead and a 90% lead essentially, but that'll be enough to get the job done. You don't have to take the Martian Vegeta as your friend. You can take a Strength Janemba, you can take anything really. I find that the Martian Vegeta is way more reliable because he makes orbs for the team and can heal you up quite a bit. But beyond that, you're welcome to choose whoever you want. You can even take the LR Broly, who basically also does a similar thing in that he basically does a massive AoE attack. So if there's like a Rainbow LR Broly on the friends list for you, you're more than welcome to take that. It will probably function just as well. So here's Freezer doing some decent attack damage and stats. So he's going to kind of carry our run in terms of damage along with the Martian Vegeta, and the Android 17 will also do some decent damage. The main issues you're going to have with this team are Android 18 taking attack and Android 13. Android 13 can somewhat take super attacks if there's an item active because of his damage reduction if he gets 8 or more key. But because there's very rare instances where we have Goku units, he's not going to do much damage or anything. He basically is just there to take some hits and to not die from a super attack. So yeah, we did this first stage pretty well. Obviously, as you can see, the strategy really is to just kind of have the new EZA Prime Battle Freezer do all the work, along with Martian Vegeta, while everyone else just kind of, doesn't die. Android 18 obviously does her fair share with her attack lowering, which I think is very good, and she enables the Android 17 to really perform well. And then obviously this Freezer does okay, maybe not from a defensive standpoint, but it can do a decent amount of damage, and he manages to enable the Freezer to do, his full suite of damage, which I think is good. But yeah, beyond that, in terms of team build, you could really replace a lot of these units with anything that you have that's quite suitable. So don't panic about this. This free-to-play team kind of hybrid thing is not the most optimal team. I distinctively, as you guys know, will try and do the most gimped, terrible kind of team I can think of that does function, without having to jump through hoops or anything like that. And then as you can see, the Freezer is going to dish out some decent damage. Obviously the main thing is to get his 18 key because that's going to really bump up the numbers. But yeah, one nice thing about this Android 13 here is that if you do take a super attack or something and you're in a stage where there's a Goku, he is basically like 4 times better. So when he fights a Goku, he gains like 100% attack and defense, and all of a sudden he can start critting and stuff like that. So yeah, it does help to keep him kind of not around, but like in the flow of things. So just keep an eye on that, and obviously if there's a Goku enemy in the category, just maybe take out the other unit first, and see where you go from there. So Android 18 doing pretty well. Not great attack stats, but her attack lowering really is the main highlight. I've used her in quite a few SBRs, so I mean, her attack lowering is really good. The fact that you can get her free to play really helps. I've used her in Android Saga, this Extreme Tech, Pepe Girls, like a whole bunch of stages. So she's shown her worth. I think she was worth the gems overall. I think if you're a new player or you're someone who's low on gems, it's not really worth it, but especially now with all the units that have come out, you know, in terms of gems and everything like that. But I think, yeah, you know, if you did get her or you do have her, I don't think you went wrong by it. I think you definitely could use her for a lot of things. And here we go. Frieza's gonna finally get his 18 key, which means he's pretty much gonna take out someone in one hit or do a massive amount of damage. Yeah, so you can see there that this Frieza, this final form Frieza, does some decent damage. Yeah, there's nothing wrong from his damage. It's just his defense is a bit suspect. But here Frieza's gonna dish out some good damage to go on. Really helps out his massively lowering attack. Also helps out. That's where the massively lowering defense really comes in. And then obviously we have this combo, this free-to-play combo. He's from the Super Dragon Ball Heroes event. You can get him in the same event. You can get that Great Saiyaman 5, I believe, which is Beats in his Great Saiyaman outfit. The thing with combo is when a super enemy attacks him, he gives him 20% less attack and defense, which is really good. But he's not really so defensively sound that you can be like, oh, I'm just going to leave him without an item. He definitely needs an item, but you can use him to some effect. I do use him in the final stage to basically just kind of pop an item and have him tank quite a bit of damage, and you know, not so much tank it, but just reduce a lot of DPS from the opposition because of them all getting that 20% and 30%, that 20% attack and defense debuff. So we do get our Dokkan attack here. It is basically unavoidable. So you know, that's unfortunate because obviously we wanted at the last stage. Frieza's defense is looking alright, especially with such low leads. He's obviously one of the better defensive units on this rotation. So you can see me just kind of weighing things up to see where we're going to go with this. Kind of move Frieza into the second slot. I keep trying to get the maximum amount of damage that I can out of the final form Frieza. While he's, you know, buffed up with items and stuff like that, because that's really where he's gonna like benefit the team. If he takes an attack that takes a lot of damage and stuff like that, it's obviously not gonna be good. So you generally without items are trying to avoid that, but we managed to obviously get a couple items, and then in that situation he does decent damage. This Frieza coming in clutch, essentially eliminating Trunks straight away. And then we have the Vegeta as well, doing some decent damage to his counterpart there. So this is the problem, in that we get the Dokkan attack, so we don't, you know, we switch in. Obviously we have the androids. I kind of let Android 18 go in to lower the attack of Vegeta first. That's why she's in first slot. And then we're going to have the Android 18 sit there in second slot, means you'll be able to stack his defense before, and then we'll have combo around everything out in the final slot. So yeah, this team build's not bad. I mean, I definitely would replace Android 13, and I would probably, I think if you replaced Android 13 with something decent that linked well, maybe, I don't know, like pretty much anything. You could do like a Mega Shenron, you could do anything. As long as what you place in the team links better than Android 13, you're definitely going to get some decent results and better performance just in general. You could even, you know, run double Vegetas or something like that and just get better performance. So here we go, we got Frieza coming in. So I try to do this to eliminate the Vegeta. and we do manage to get things done. He does take a super attack here. Defense is pretty good on this, 76k. It is normal SBR, so it's not, you know, the most hardest hitting content. I really hoped that we would have got the kind of the win there, because now it's an unavoidable Dokkan attack. I was hoping for like a crit or something from the Strength Frieza, but we didn't get it, which is really unfortunate. I thought that, you know, LR Frieza would be able to finish him off and Strength Frieza would be able to follow up, but we didn't manage to. So the Dokkan attack was pretty unavoidable. I even tried here to get Android 17 to do some normals, and I was like, oh, maybe he'll knock him out and we can keep the Dokkan, but he didn't manage to. So now we've got Vegeta finishing things off with the Dokkan attack, and then that's going to make the next stage a little bit more interesting, which is why I resorted to the Kumba strategy. Well, not Kumba strategy, but why I tried out using Kumba in the next stage, and just to see how he performs and if he could help out the team when it needed it. So yeah, Vegeta finishes things off, we get the Dokkan attack, we get the heal, and then things will proceed from there, and we'll move on to the final stage. So obviously, if anyone's been following the SBR series, they'll know that this is the end of the first 10 SBR, and then that obviously I have done videos on the other SBR. I will be moving on, and I will be doing every single SBR, and I will probably redo SBR as new units come out. Like I've said before, if a unit comes out or a couple units come out and a team can be done either more free to play or smoother as a free to play team, you know, like maybe there's a unit comes out that makes things link a bit better, operate a bit better, I'll definitely change up the video, move that video out of the playlist and move the updated and current one into the playlist. So the SBR playlist will always have the most up-to-date current teams that are free to play / new player / all player friendly, with the best team builds that I have for those kind of situations, and then obviously SBR videos will just float around the channel. There might be some under, like, and if you're looking for how a specific unit performs in an SBR, and I do a video specifically on how that unit performs, you'll find that under the review section rather than finding it under the SBR section, because the SBR guides aren't really about the specific unit, even though a strategy might implement such a specific unit, but it's really more just about giving people a point of reference to attempt the content from, and see, you know, a build or understand how the content works and what the best way to go about it is. So as you can see, I moved Kumba into the slot there to take the most attacks from everyone and popped a couple items, so he's tanking relatively well, but he's also managing to reduce all of their attack and defense at the same time. And then we have Frieza, who's going to come in and dish out some really good damage, and hopefully take out the Vegeta, which he does. And no, he doesn't. Oh my. So yeah, as you can see, sometimes we're getting a little bit unlucky, like how we didn't finish things off for that Dokkan attack in the last round, and how Vegeta is staying alive in this round. Nice thing is that obviously Android 13 is getting his full passive due to the fact that there is a Goku, so that's really good. But beyond that, Android 17 is not getting his full passive anymore, so we do just need to be slightly careful there, but we still have the items going. Vegeta will manage to finish off the other Vegeta here. It's a bit of a shame to waste his extra damage, obviously, on killing a unit that's, you know, got like 1 health left. Android 17, I believe, does finish off Trunks, which leaves us with 3 characters for the next round. Luckily, like most of you will know, in terms of SBR, if there are 5 units in a stage, generally they are weaker in terms of health pool than a stage which may have only 1 or 2 units, and they hit slightly less hard. It's not like a perfect ratio, it's not like they hit, you know, half as hard as a unit like a stage that's got 2. It's more like 4/5 in terms of how hard they hit, but their health pools are dramatically reduced comparatively. So that is it. The reason why 5 enemies in a stage is harder than the like 2-person is because you can't apply as much control, because you're not matching up as many units to theirs. Like, even if you have 3 stunners and 3 sealers, you can only ever stun 3 of 5 units. Whereas in a two-person fight, you can perpetually technically keep those two people constantly in control. Same with the one enemy fight. We'll see if they ever change that, if they ever gimmick Super Battle Road. I don't think so. They'll kind of keep it the way it is, and I think that's good. It just provides a nice challenge for people in terms of short-term content. So it's definitely something I don't think they should change. But they should definitely add more categories, even if they reuse some of the stages, or at least not stages, but you know, some of the fights are not so different. I think it's not too bad for me. I don't really mind, as long as it gives me a reason to run a new team and try out something new. That's really the main reason I enjoy SBR so much, alongside obviously the cool LRs and rewards that you get for finishing it. So we've managed to do this one pretty well. We've obviously used a couple more items than we do in most of our runs, but I mean, at the same time, we're running a pretty gimped team here. This is probably one of my more gimped teams, literally relying solely on 2 cards and not even catering to those 2 cards, just kind of shoving them in and saying, hey, well, the one has big bad bosses, we'll just activate big bad bosses. So overall, pretty impressed with how this team did, at least from a performance standpoint. I think the highlights are Final Form Freeze's damage is pretty good after he takes a hit. Easy Prime Battle Freezes, obviously super impressive and will continue to do so and be impressive. And yeah, I think actually Kumba did pretty well, and obviously Martian Vegeta was a good sub-lead. Android 17 and 18 combo didn't work as well as I'd like, but that's not entirely their fault at the same time. I think they're a good combo, but I think obviously we had to split them up at the end to try something different for the 5-man fight. But yeah, overall, nice, solid showing, decent run here, and should be easy enough for people to really try things out and just see how they go. So if you are looking to do the first couple SBR, and if you are looking at taking on the content, there will be guides here for you. And I think I will do a video or a tutorial at some point about how to progress, or at least the steps to take in Dokkan to move from content to content. And I think that'll be a nice video. I'll probably put it up soon under the tutorial sections. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, and bye.